So we had some technical difficulties. Someone forgot to make sure the camera was charged fully before we shot this episode. So I've got a little bit of video for you guys,
yes.
Especially the parts that count, the parts that matter with the actual vehicle.
Right.
But for the rest of it, I've got some wonderful audio and some probably fun pictures as well. So
there'll be some pretties to look at while you listen to us talk.
Still check us out, turn us on, listen to us as you're at work, at home, wherever you're at.
Share with your friends.
Share with your friends and enjoy.
Thanks, guys. Good morning, people. Here we are again. It's Cindy and Jeremy, two geeks in a car. This week, we have a few things we want to cover.
Absolutely. And I think, first off, the car aspect.
Yes.
We're going to be touching base on a vehicle that's very near and dear to both of our hearts. I know we talked a lot about our love and fascination with Jeeps last week. And actually, we're going to be showing you not Cindy's vehicle, but what she's driving.
Because mine's not clean.
So we're going to be talking about the Jeep Cherokee
yes.
and its illustrious history, going through, I think going all the way back into the 1970s on the Jeep Cherokee,
right.
Which is only 30 years after the first Jeep was brought out.
1941.
Yeah, so, we've got a lot to go through there.
We do.
We're going to talk about a special event that's coming up on Saturday, August 18th.
Big doings. Big doings.
And I think we're just going to have some fun. We're actually going to take you out to a vehicle today.
We are.
So
we're going rogue, people.
You better be ready to hold on and get ready for this wild ride.
Are we driving today? We're not. Are we taking a road trip?
We might.
All right.
Depends on how we're feeling.
I'm good. I'm good.
So, like I said, the Jeep Cherokee.
Yeah.
You're talking Jeep history, which, to be honest, if you haven't gone online, go online to jeep.com/history. You're going to see everything back to the inception of the Jeep and up to modern day. We're talking revamps, redesigns. We're talking vehicles that are coming out that
right.
have just been announced in the 5-year plan. Bringing back some classic vehicles.
Jeep truck.
Yep, Jeep truck, Jeep Grand Wagoneer and the Wagoneer. The electrification of Jeeps in the next 5 years.
Third row Grand Cherokee.
Yep, it's going to be a lot of fun. One thing, Cindy, I don't know if you know this. Do you know where the word Jeep comes from and the brand name?
I don't remember anything. You told me this the other day. Tell me again.
Okay, so long story short, back in the late 30s, early 40s, the government was trying to come up with a vehicle, a multi-purpose vehicle for transporting troops around. So we're talking after World War I, World War II is on the rise here. What are we going to do? How are we going to get our troops around? At that point, they had a government contract, and I'll be honest with you, I can't remember. Here it is. I got it right down on my sheet here. They had a government contract with the American Bantam Car Company, and they were building the off-road vehicles. Now, what happened was they were only able to build so many vehicles a year, but the government needed more.
Always needs more.
So they reached out to car companies, and they said, bring us what you can get. Here's the original design for the American Bantam Car's multi-purpose vehicle. Redo it, make it your own, make it better, make it faster, whatever the case is, make it your own. See what you can do. So the two top companies, I should say, that got contracts were Ford and Willis Overland. You probably recognize Willis Overland.
Willys, Jeep people.
Exactly. And there's a lot of controversy how to pronounce that too. So it's either Willys or Willis.
There are multiple scandals in the Jeep history. Will they ever know? Oh no! Oh no!
So when it came down to it, both of those companies, Ford and Willis Overland, got the contracts and were pumping out vehicles in excess of, 300 to 400,000 vehicles for the government. And What did they call them? They called them GPs. General purpose or government purpose. And so, one of the theories on how Jeep got its name is that the soldiers got tired of saying GP and just shortened it to Jeep.
Jeep. And so it began.
So it began. There is the Jeep name right there for you. You know, you mentioned there's a few other scandals out there.
Let's talk about the scandal of the 7-slotted grill.
7-slotted grill. You know, not only is there a scandal there, do you know why it has a 7-slotted grill?
You, correct me if I'm wrong, because I do this a lot. I get things wrong. You're just going to have to forgive me. You can purchase a Jeep on every continent in the world. Now, for those of you who are like me and maybe kind of aren't great at geography, there are 7 continents. So 7-slotted grill.
That's one of the theories.
See, there's always why even Jeep has conspiracy theories.
You know, Jeep hasn't actually put out a physical statement as to why the 7-slotted grill.
Really?
And the significance to it. At least nothing that I can find.
Fair enough.
But there have been a lot of speculations. The most popular theory is that it's been purchased on all 7 continents. You can purchase it on all 7 continents. Right. Or the other variation of that is that it's the first vehicle to have been driven on all 7 continents.
I have heard that one too, yeah.
Those are the 2 big theories. But let's get back to the scandal because scandals are fun.
It is fun.
So, Cindy, do you remember? I think we talked about this a little bit yesterday.
Is it BMW? Was it BMW?
No, Hummer.
Hummer. You know what? I'm going to mess it up. I'm going to let him... This is his thing, not mine.
I love digging into the histories like this because it's a lot of fun. So, Hummer, many of you probably remember it, gas guzzlers, you know, the big old boxy vehicles, military vehicles. So when they came out, they used a 7-slotted grill. Now, probably a lot of different reasons as to why they picked that. Who knows? You know, I didn't dig too deep into that side. But the fun thing was that Jeep tried to sue Hummer because they were using the 7-slotted grill.
Dun, dun, dun.
And to make things even worse, to rub salt in the wound, Jeep lost the suit. And the reason they lost it is because in Jeep's history, not every one of their vehicles has a 7-slotted grill. Now, I'm not going to tell you which ones don't have a 7-slotted grill.
Oh.
Because I think that would be something fun to do. I don't know. Here's what I'm going to do.
All right.
I'm going to throw a challenge out there.
Hit me.
Okay. On the video here, either on YouTube, on Facebook, wherever you see it at, however it's shared, hit us up.
Yes.
Name me at least one Jeep vehicle that has not had a 7-slotted grill. And I'm going to put you into a drawing for a free oil change.
Yes, we like free. Oh, you know what? We probably should have asked somebody before we did that.
You know, for me, it's easier to ask for forgiveness than permission. And you know what? I'm going to do this out of the goodness of my heart.
Yeah.
Whether I have, whether it's free to me or not. We'll put it that way.
Oh, no. What have you done now?
But I want to see what you guys can come up with. Because this will be a fun way for you to be able to interact with us as well. And we'll announce the winner. Let's just say next episode. So you've got a few days here.
To research.
And
Google it, people.
Figure this out. So if you're watching, let me know. Let us know. Reach out to us.
Comments below.
If you want to, if you see us in the store, stop us and let us know.
Sure.
We'll give a shout out to every single person who ends up giving us an answer, right or wrong, and then we'll draw a winner and see who the lucky person gets a free oil change from us.
Absolutely.
This is going to be fun.
Let's circle back to weird trivia about Jeep. You told me yesterday there's actually a year where there wasn't a Jeep Cherokee.
Wrangler. Jeep Wrangler.
I told you I suck at this. This is why we have Jeremy, because my facts are really sketchy. Really sketchy. But there was a year. What did you tell me? 1996?
96. Yes. So, again, more controversy, more scandal.
It's a technicality, really.
What we're looking at, so Jeep puts out a vehicle roughly every year.
Right.
Right? They redesign, they bring something new, they retire something. It's the cycle of cars.
Right.
Everybody does it.
Right. Every year, something new and shiny comes out.
Yep. And you see it, and every one of us wonders, why am I getting a 2019 when it's January of 2018? It's just how the car cycle goes.
That's true.
So what happened? The Wrangler comes out, 1995. Might remember it if you guys are diehard Jeep people, square headlights. Okay, so this is before the nice rounded headlights that we see today. A lot of people love them now. We had square headlights on the Wranglers. And basically what happened was they started the transition to the new body, the new model with the rounded headlights from 1997. So we went from the 95 model with the square headlights to the 97 model with the rounded headlights.
We skipped.
Yet nobody thought about what they were going to do in 96 for the 96 model year. So technically we're talking 1995 would have been production for the 96 model year. Well, they didn't do that. There wasn't a model that was introduced. And so technically when you look at the Jeep model lineup history, you won't find a specific model for the 96 year.
We should have left that as a trivia question. Somebody could have gotten another oil change.
That's
Darn
right.
it.
We're going to be chock full of them, I feel like. Because there's a lot of stuff out there, whether it's vehicles on our lot or vehicles that we've seen, that we're going to throw out to you and see what you guys can find and tell us.
I'm kicking around the idea of a kind of, some of you might remember this, some of you don't remember Where's Waldo? I'm kind of kicking around the idea of maybe doing a little Where's Cindy in her Jeep, and if you could find me in town, there might be a prize, maybe. I'm working on it.
More details to come.
More details to come. I'm going to try to get the prize, lined up first and before I give it away. Jeremy.
I'm just going to announce them. It's all part of having fun.
It is part of having fun.
Being spontaneous, throwing something out there. I was going to tell you what they were, but it's more fun this way.
It is. It is more fun this way. What else is going on?
Well, let's take a quick break before we dive into the Cherokees.
Okay.
Because there's a pretty deep history there.
Yeah.
We've got an event coming up Saturday.
We do.
Do you want to tell? I'm gonna go grab a prop.
Yes.
If you want to start telling them about
I will.
it,
Props are good. So, some of you may know, in January we got a new boss. We got a new general manager, Adam Johnson. So on Saturday, Jeremy, again, you got to fact check me, bud. The first 50 students that come in and shake Adam Johnson's hand get one of these. All you got to do is be a brave little soldier. Come on in, shake Adam's hand, introduce yourself. You get to pick a backpack for the first 50 people. Yep. Bring your folks, bring your friends. It's okay. Come say hi to Jeremy and I. We'll try to make you Facebook famous. Maybe we'll have a little photo opportunity with you. It's going to be fun.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
It's going to be fun. And you're going to have a bag to take your stuff to school in because as a parent, let me tell you, we're ready for you to go back.
And it's that time. It's that time of year when you're doing your school shopping. You're getting ready to go. Who doesn't need a new backpack?
Right.
I wished I'd gotten a new backpack every year, and it's no fault of my parents, so please don't look down on them.
No.
I've got 3 brothers, okay, and we could eat my parents out of house and home.
I've heard the story.
So a backpack kind of lasted you as long as you could last it.
Right.
I mean, that's just how it was because, I'll be honest, I'd rather have a nice warm meal in my belly than a brand new backpack.
Right. I can schlep those books back and forth, man, but you got to feed me. So.
And here's a great opportunity for you to come on out. No strings attached.
No, none.
We're not asking you to test drive. We're not asking you to buy a vehicle. Nothing like that. We just want you to come in, meet Adam, say hi, shake his hand. He'd really love it. He's actually, he may not tell you this, but he is really excited about it.
He loves having people come to our house. This is our home. We're here, 50, 60, 70, Adam practically lives here.
Yeah.
This is home for us. So when we can have company over, we love it.
Absolutely.
And if we can give them a present when they're here, that just makes us even more happy. And we're doing something that can help somebody out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I just recently bought a new backpack.
Nice.
September again is Disaster Preparedness Month, so I'm getting ready to have my bag in my Jeep so that I have it's a thing. You'll see it. I'm gonna put stuff in it. We're gonna talk about it. So
the last backpack I bought
I
is sitting in this room right now.
I can't help. Here's how much of a dork Pat Ansman right there photobombing. I can't help because I'm a grandma. Yeah, I am. I'm a grandma. I have 3 grandbabies. Hi, Natalie, Ellie, and Zoe. Anyway, I can't hear the word backpack and not automatically think Dora the Explorer. I can't do it. Your backpack
Now
is
I'm
here.
gonna think that. It is. Now, you may not call it a traditional backpack. It's a messenger bag.
It counts. It's a Merce.
I love it. I use it to carry around all this lovely equipment that you see in front of us because, and it's literally called the handbag of holding. It holds a lot of stuff. And if you see it behind my desk, you'll know it's mine because it also has a bunch of geeky pins on it from video games and movies.
Oh, I'm glad you brought that up because we haven't ever really explained ourselves why it's 2 geeks and a car. You know that we sell cars. That's part of it. What you don't know about us, and you're starting to figure it out though, we are geeks. We're both gamers. Yes, I am that grandma that plays video games. Judge all you want. I don't care. I love it. It's therapy for me. If there's dragons and swords involved, I will play it. And video games are not the enemy, people. They are not the enemy. So.
And I've always found my bag of holding is my way to express myself.
Yes.
Because I've been to a couple of really cool events. Probably one of my favorites was Fan Expo up in Toronto, Ontario.
So jealous.
Such an amazing experience. It's been a few years now since I went. But being there, being in that culture for me was just huge.
Right.
It was exciting. It was a blast. Being a huge video gamer that I am, I got to actually play some betas of video games.
Which is always a good time.
So games that hadn't even been released yet. But the cool thing is I can express myself on this bag. And I'm going to grab it real quick.
Do it!
Because, tell you what, I've got a few pins on here. I haven't updated this recently. But the reason it's called the handbag of holding is a Dungeons and Dragons reference. And this is where I'll throw a shout out to my brother Nick because he knows a whole heck of a lot more about Dungeons and Dragons than I do. But I love it, and basically the reference is that it can hold a lot of stuff.
Right.
It can hold roughly an infinite amount of stuff.
Yes.
And when I traveled to Canada, I traveled with this bag and my carry-on suitcase.
Nice.
And I packed for a week in all of that.
The button. Oh, live long and prosper.
Yes.
Right on, dude.
Absolutely. Star Trek fans, Trekkies.
Yeah.
I gotcha. Now, the one pin that fell off that I lost the back to and I'm actually really upset about is I did have a BB-8 droid from Star Wars that was attached to this bag as well. But you've got some of my video game references as well, whether it is Halo, I've got Fallout 4 on here, World of Warcraft.
I did not know you played World of Warcraft.
I don't really. See, now this is where my geeky side can really come out because I played Warcraft before it became World of Warcraft.
Wow.
I remember spending hours playing it and fighting my brothers over the computer. You guys know who you are. To see which one of us could play at the time. And for those of you who may be a little young and may not know, Warcraft was a game before World of Warcraft. And in Warcraft, you didn't have the online component.
Right.
It
single
wasn't
player.
This massive multiplayer online world.
Mm-hmm.
It was single player. You built your armies and you conquered lands. And it was a lot of fun. It was cool just to kind of get away from it,
Right.
Between that and games like Civilization, I think the one game was called Stronghold that we played a lot too, or Shogun Warrior. That was another fun one. All kind of similar games. Compared to video games now, very basic.
Right. Well, the technology has changed.
I mean, we were talking the mid to late 90s there. Video games really came out in the 80s.
He's a puppy. He's the same age as my oldest daughter. That doesn't make me feel old at all. I was a late in life gamer. I didn't start playing video games really until late 30s, early 40s.
Okay.
Yeah, so,
yesterday,
right?
And here I have been playing, my whole life.
Right.
That's what it feels like, especially with a lot of the toys that were coming out as I was growing up. I even think back to, it sparks a really big memory for me of my first VTech laptop.
Wow.
The fun little, you see them now and they're a lot more complicated than they were back then. But you just think this little plastic laptop, it actually was probably like a big old honking thing because the computers back then were huge. But you could play games like spelling and math and, matching games and stuff like that. I remember carrying that thing around all the time with me.
You were such a nerd.
To it as soon as I got it. I can't help it.
Hey, here's how old I am. I'm 48, by the way. It's fine. It's just a number. The very first computer I ever laid hands on, I was in 8th grade. We were rocking the Commodore 64. Nice. So for those of you who are in my age group, you know what I'm talking about. The Oregon Trail was the game. Oregon Trail.
Oregon Trail is still the game.
Died miserably.
It is amazing.
I still die frequently on the video games. I don't care.
I can't help it. I can't figure it out. I don't know how they did it in real life. I can't do it in a video game.
No.
All right. Well, let's get back on track here.
Yeah, we lost it. We see this.
These tangents are going to become regular. I can tell that. Which is
part
fun.
of it. You know what? I told you last time. Get something cold to drink and sit down because we're going to talk about who knows what.
Absolutely. So
but now
the Jeep Cherokee.
The
Jeep Cherokee.
Yeah.
When first released, it was called the SJ internally. So you probably know, you Jeep fans out there, every Jeep Wrangler has letters to it.
True.
Right? So when you think of even some of the first ones, some of the very popular ones seem to be like the CJ5s.
CJ7.
The newest one is the JL.
Yes.
Preceded by the JK.
And they're great.
They are amazing.
Yeah.
And so when the Cherokee came out, it was the SJ. Now, that's going to be another fun fact that I think we hit on maybe another episode as to what the letters mean. Maybe when we talk about an actual Wrangler.
Yeah.
Because it's a big part.
It is.
Of the Jeep brand and the Jeep history. But in particular, we're talking about the 1970s here. That Jeep has their SUV, four-door SUV. Is it a family vehicle? Is it an off-road vehicle? Who knows?
Right. Could be either.
I think as far as Jeep was concerned at that time, it was both.
Right.
You could go on these fun adventures. You could also have your family in there. You've got plenty of internal storage and space as far as that's concerned. Now, the fun fact is Jeep once again led the way. And they continue to lead the way.
That is true.
Not only I may be a little biased.
Well, we might be a tiny bit biased.
But most people I talk to, especially around here, if you ask about a four-wheel drive vehicle, the first one that comes to mind is a Jeep.
It's Jeep, yeah.
And not just because we sell them, but because they've got fantastic four-wheel drive systems in them.
That is true.
And they've been updated over the years. Just all out.
Yeah.
But the other leading the way, breaking the barrier thing, is something that revolutionized the auto industry.
What's that?
In general. So in the 1980s, I want to say it was around 1985-ish, 86, if I remember right, Jeep brought out their redesigned Cherokee. Now, the biggest design change, this is the first ever unibody SUV. They took their Jeep, their Cherokee, it was built on essentially a truck frame.
Right.
Okay, so we're talking heavy duty, ready for the off-road adventure, maybe not as great on gas mileage. Oh well, that's the sacrifice you make when you want that type of vehicle.
That's correct.
And they took it off and basically, essentially put it on a passenger car frame.
Yes, the unibody.
The unibody frame. And what this allowed them to do was to reduce weight, have better gas mileage, and quite honestly, make it a more affordable family vehicle that could also handle the off-road capabilities.
Yes.
And it's kind of funny to think about this, and we'll get to it here. So we're going to show you, I think, a 19 Jeep Cherokee.
We are.
That's what we're going to go out to here. The space on it, these original Cherokees, you probably remember them big and boxy.
Yeah, they were.
Big and boxy. The frame on it is actually slightly smaller than what the 19 has now. But because of the way the body was built, there was more internal storage.
Really?
Because it was big and boxy.
True.
You know,
so square footage, if you do the math.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, if you think about it, I mean...
Right.
That's just how it works.
I still feel like there's plenty of room, though.
Oh, there's a ton of space.
I mean, let me tell you, I can put the herd on Costco in that Jeep Cherokee. No joke. No joke.
Herd on most places with that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Shopping is fun with a Jeep.
It is, because I can go even in the winter when everybody else is staying home, and then I don't have to fight the crowd because they're not there. I don't like the mall. I don't like the mall. Don't look for me there. You'll never find me.
So here's what we're going to do. Let's take them out to the Jeep.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's have some fun here. We're going to go ahead and transition out there, and then we'll meet you back inside and wrap things up.
Right.
Hey everyone, welcome outside. Sorry again for those technical difficulties that we had with the first part of the video. I do take all the blame on that one.
Not his fault. I blame the camera.
Here we are, outside the store. Whoa, a little too close here. Can't really see the logo out there. So you probably recognize the front of the store here, but we are going to show you inside and outside of a 2019 Jeep Cherokee. Cindy, do you want to kick it off here? I'm going to flip the camera over. So let's go ahead and see.
Okay, so we'll start in the front. Here are those 7 slotted grills that we talked about. We'll let you make your own assumption about which it was, whether it was driven or purchased. But there's that classic 7 slotted grill.
You know, Cindy, I'm going to cut you off because looking at the 7 slotted grill, all I want to do is kind of door explore it and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 slots. We're having too much fun with this, I can tell you that.
On the 19s, they have changed this little headlight just a little bit. You'll notice it looks a little slimmer. Some people, even on mine, the nose used to be more pointed, more kind of, they call that like a shark nose. You'll notice now it's more flat on the front. It's got more of a bull nose type profile to it. And then just coming around, everything else is going to be what you're kind of accustomed to on the vehicle. We've still got those great trim pieces. We've still got this same body line that we've all come to know and love. This one happens to be, again, the 19 Jeep Cherokee. It's a Latitude Plus. It is a 4-wheel drive, so it is going to take you where you need to go. All the badging is still the same. They've really just kind of freshened up the design of it, made it a little sleeker, made it look a little cleaner, although this one needs a bath desperately.
It's what happens when they sit outside in the sun and the elements all the time.
The one time that we need to video a vehicle outside, we actually got a tiny little bit of rain. Now, the other 30 days before that, not so much. But now that we want to be out here, we got a little bit. So, we apologize for it being dirty, but quite frankly, people, if your Jeep's not dirty, you're not trying hard enough. So, let's get in the Jeep and see what we can do in there. Jeremy, your turn.
All right. Here we are.
Here we are.
Inside of the Jeep Cherokee.
Yes.
Now, one of the first things that I really point out and I notice when I climb in is the comfort.
Yes.
You know, a lot is to be said about a comfortable ride and functionality on it. And when you're talking about wanting a good, strong four-wheel drive system and still be able to have a nice, comfortable ride, the Jeep Cherokee is where it's at, if you ask me. Plus, the added benefit that you're not going to blow your budget on it.
That is true.
These are very affordable vehicles.
They are. They are.
You know, they come in, I think it's 6 or 7 different trim levels. When you get down to the Latitude Plus, Trailhawk,
my favorite,
Limited, and the Overland. So 5, 6. Fact check me on that. Have fun with it. Let me know what I'm doing wrong.
Dora the Explorer. Can you find all the trim packages?
I'm not giving away an oil change on that one, because that's a lot easier to find. But you know, depending on what your tastes are, what you want out of it,
right,
we can get you a package that fits in. Now, if I recall right, Cindy's got the Trailhawk.
I do.
And for those of you who may not be big Jeep people, the Trailhawk is all about off-road performance and off-road superior performance, nonetheless.
Yes.
So we're talking about, it goes through, every Trailhawk goes through a rigorous test. Okay, and I'm not talking like, oh, let's put it up on a lift and see what's underneath it. No, we're talking water fording. How deep can it go into water?
I want to do that so bad.
We're talking about brake angles. So how steep of a rock can it go over?
And still propel itself.
Still actually get over the thing. Ground clearance. How big of a rock can it climb up and over? You know, off-road maneuverability. Those are all big parts of what goes into the Trailhawk rating and the trail rated badge that you'll find on a Jeep Cherokee or any Jeep that's a Trailhawk and trail rated.
Right.
And that's one of the things. I can't say any Jeep that's a Trailhawk to have it, because the Wranglers, you don't have a Trailhawk, but they are trail rated.
Yes.
And so you can still find, I hate to say this, but you can still find a Wrangler that's not trail rated. When you're looking at like the sport level, you know, you may not have that, but for the most part, the Wranglers are all trail rated. And so when you want to go do that, you want to have some fun. If you want to take it out to the Easter Jeep Safari in the Moab Desert, which I do really want to go to, and you know who you are that I'm talking to you out there.
Yes.
We're going to figure this out, because I think it'd be awesome to be out there. I've always wanted to do it.
I think it would be a great road trip.
It would be. And you're talking about just having some fun.
Yeah.
Putting those vehicles to the test. You've probably seen, and I know I'm going to make some of you Jeep people mad, you've probably seen the new commercial for, is it the Kia Sorento? I think it is. I don't watch a whole ton of TV at home. I stream a lot of stuff online, so I don't see a ton of commercials. When I do, I take notice.
Right.
And they've got the Kia Sorento that's going up the Moab Trail, and it's going through it. Interesting fact, I know, because I've talked to a gentleman that knows quite a bit about this. It was actually one of the Jeep trail guides driving the Kia Sorento in that commercial. So he knows those trails like the back of his hand. But the other side of it is, there are a lot of tough things out there. And so, you know, for me, I'd love to see that vehicle on the rest of the trails.
Yes.
Because, you know, I'm not doubting that it can do it.
But let's put it to the test.
But I'd love to see it, you know, because I know that these Jeeps, when you look at them, they don't look like a Kia Sorento.
No.
You know, and so being able to have that off-road capability. Now, I'm not saying that this Cherokee is going to be able to do a lot of that stuff either, because it doesn't have the same ground clearance as a Wrangler. It doesn't have the same, you know, maneuverability. You know, there's a lot that goes into the Wrangler that allows it to do the heavy-duty off-road stuff that it can do.
Right.
That allows it to get over those big boulders. But it can still do.
It can, but there are places that the Wrangler can go that even my Cherokee Trailhawk, I wouldn't take it on. I might try. But I'm not telling you that you should.
Yeah.
And legal disclaimer on that whole water thing, when I said I want to go through deep water, please don't ever drive through moving water. It's not safe. Don't do it. Don't do it.
And let's be honest, when we're talking water fording, we're not talking like up all the way to the roof of the vehicle here.
No.
we're talking like most Cherokees are sitting, I think it's somewhere around like the 10 to 15 inches of water range.
In a controlled
in
environment.
a controlled environment. You know?
Just so we're clear. Just so we're clear.
And so you're not talking
Don't put yourself in
10
danger.
feet,
Right.
you know?
Right.
Now you may see those vehicles out there that have the big old snorkels on them.
Sure, that's a whole different animal.
Still, those are not going up to the roof in water.
Right.
I can promise you that.
Right.
It's all about engine air intake.
Yes. But we digress.
We digress.
Back
So,
to this.
Going through this, one of the great things you'll notice is that there is a lot of room and there's a lot of space. You can kind of see it from the way we've got the camera here. As I mentioned earlier, you're looking at a slightly longer vehicle, not by a whole ton
Not a lot.
than what the first unibody frame was, but because of those rounded features that it's adopted, which help with aerodynamics, help
Yes.
with gas mileage, help with all those fun things, it's lost a little bit of the interior storage, not a whole ton. Again, not a lot. We're talking, you know, I want to say it was like maybe 12 cubic inches or something like that. I can't remember the exact number that it was off of. No, I think it was maybe
I
can't
go
remember.
by real world standards because, again, I'm grandma. I can fit a car seat plus 2 additional grandbabies in the back seat.
Yeah.
So, for those of you who aren't the math geeks, you can fit 3 little bodies in the back seat, one of them being in a ginormous car seat.
Yeah, and I do that too.
Yeah.
I've got 3 nephews and a niece.
That's right, he does.
And
they're so
two,
cool.
2 of those nephews and 1 of those nieces, well, the one niece,
Yeah.
we see a lot because they live just down the road from us in
Right.
Keokuk. And, you know, we take them a lot of places, and this size vehicle is perfect.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, the 12-year-old, or 13, sorry, he just had a birthday. Happy birthday, Malachi. The 13-year-old, you know, it's starting to get a little cramped sometimes, but that's because his 2 younger siblings are growing up as well.
Right.
But I also know, you know, we ride around in these things on the lot all the time.
And we fill them with people.
Yeah, and we're talking full-size adults,
It
full-grown
looks,
adults.
it looks like you're emptying out a Shriner's car when we get out, honestly.
Yeah, but we're all comfortable, you know.
Yeah,
now,
we
if you
are.
put us in a small, tiny, compact car, then we get a little cramped, a little irritable. But we're in a SUV like this, we're pretty
We're
comfortable.
comfortable. Yeah.
It's,
There's lots of leg room. I'm not cramped.
you know, and I've always said that because I'm 5'11".
Right.
And so I like to have my space in the front seat. I like to know what my space in the back seat is.
Yeah.
And we've got guys taller than me that I'll sit behind them when we're riding around. And I've got more than enough room for myself.
Right.
I'm very comfortable. I'm relaxed. I don't have to feel like I'm uptight and, you know.
Your knees up here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's dig into a couple of the features here.
I wonder what he'll pick.
So I'm gonna flip the camera around. So starting over here, a very classic Jeep setup and look on the steering wheel. Actually something very similar across Chrysler. If you're familiar with the other Chrysler vehicles, it looks and feels comfortable, which is nice because it's easy to go from one vehicle to the other, especially to go from one Jeep to the other. So if you want to upgrade, if you want to maybe go to something a little more bare bones, going to a Wrangler, coming back to a Cherokee, going over to a Compass, moving down to a Renegade because you just want something that's very economical and smaller. Maybe you live in the city and you want to be able to maneuver a little bit easier. It all feels and looks very comfortable. Not a whole lot of, you know, Jeep specific stuff right here. But what I do want to come over to, and this is probably what Cindy was starting to allude to, is the 4-wheel drive system. The lovely select terrain down here. Now, one thing you'll notice on this one in particular is that there is no sole 2-wheel drive mode.
Correct.
But the cool thing is, you see this lovely automatic mode that it's set to, which is what it defaults to. What happens while you're driving is that the vehicle itself, the computers, my favorite thing in the world, computers,
Yay.
automatically put you into a mostly 2-wheel drive feel unless it needs the 4-wheel drive activated. So you get better gas mileage, you get a more comfortable ride simply by just letting the computer do what it's going to do. Now, for those of us who like to have a little bit more fun, obviously you have your snow, your sport, your sand and mud on this vehicle. With your snow mode, it is what it is. Okay, if you're going to be in a situation with some snow, maybe some rain, you know, it's just going to tell the computer how to think and what to expect as far as wheel slippage, which is good. Okay, now a lot of people, they may not know this, but wheel slippage isn't always a bad thing. When you get into a situation like snow and ice, you may want a little bit of slippage to happen. And so that's where the snow mode automatically thinks that for you and allows the computer and the tires to do what they need to do to get you where you're going safely. Your sport mode is going to put you mostly into more of a rear wheel drive feel. Now these vehicles without a four-wheel drive are front wheel drive. So when it comes to performance, launching, things that we would do in a Dodge Charger or a Challenger, not necessarily a Jeep, well, maybe a Jeep Trackhawk if we had one of those. The sport mode puts it more in a rear wheel drive feel, giving you a better performance aspect, quicker pickup, and things like that. Now it's not going to feel like a sport car because it's not, it's a Jeep, but it allows you to have that feeling. Sand and mud is exactly what it is. If you're going to be in situations with very low traction, very low friction on your tires, that's where you want to be at in the sand and mud mode. Because again, wheel slippage is your friend sometimes in those situations, depends on how exactly it's happening, but it helps you kind of get out of those sticky situations. Moving up the radio here and up the center console, there's a couple features that are, well, one main feature here that's new on the 19s and is standard on vehicles if you start to see it. Most vehicles are having it. I don't know, I haven't seen many new vehicles that don't have this. Auto stop start.
Yay!
Yay, we love it. We absolutely do. It's better for the fuel economy. It helps you get better gas mileage. Basically what happens is when the engine is ready and it's all right to go, it will shut the engine off when you come to a complete stop and turn it back on when you lift your brake pedal up. It does help your your fuel economy. Don't be afraid of it. It really is. It's getting better and better every year. I know people who may not be the biggest fan of it. They may have one of the earlier generations where there is some lag time. There is some, you know, get up and go. The new systems are getting better and better every year. Sliding on up one more further here gets you to the lovely touchscreen in this vehicle.
Yay, we love it.
This is one of my favorite features. Now, I'm not going to do a full-blown demonstration on this thing today, but
because he'd talk for hours.
yes, this video would get very long. But we're going to do that, I'm sure, one of these times,
Yeah.
And have some fun, because one of my favorite features has been introduced, and you actually don't see the icon for it anymore, which I don't mind. Some people are, you know, get a little tripped up on it. Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. I absolutely love it. If you don't know what it is, look it up, stop in, see me. I'll be happy to show it to you. But everything being touchscreen up here makes it really nice and easy. You can even pull up your backup camera if you want while you're parked here and see what everyone else sees out there. Trying to think if there's anything else.
We covered a lot.
We did.
We did.
Now, you know, talking about the Cherokees, the only other thing that I'll point out here, you've got over 80 safety features on this vehicle.
Right.
Which is huge. Whether it is your backup camera with rear park sensors, whether it is the airbags that are all throughout this vehicle, or any of the other technology built in to help make you safe, there's a lot going for it. So let's head back inside,
Let's do it.
wrap today up, and we'll see you guys back there.
So we've had a lot of fun talking about the Cherokee.
We have.
And about ourselves.
Yes.
And things that are coming up. The only other thing that I want to throw out to you before I forget to, you probably see this little plaque sitting here.
Yes.
This is something that we are very proud of here at Schottenkirk. Not just for Car Gurus being a top-rated dealer, but across the web.
Yes.
You know, my biggest pull, or my biggest push, I should say, since coming to Schottenkirk really, is to help with our online presence.
Yes.
And to help with getting our name out there, getting you guys involved, and boosting how people see us.
Right.
you know, and one of the things is your help and your support. Now, I know this is going to start to sound like an ASPCA commercial, and you know, with your help and support, we can do a lot of great things out here. But really, it's as simple as this: going online, go to Google, type in Schottenkirk Mount Pleasant, our Facebook page. There are a few other places, but those are really the two that are big for us right now.
Yeah.
And leave us a review. It's really simple. It's a button click away, and it helps us. Okay. Not only does it help us with our online presence, you know, there's a lot of geeky stuff that goes into that I've done a lot of research into myself, but it also helps us know what we're doing right and what we can improve on.
Right. And we want to hear from you. We want the good, the bad, and the ugly, because the only way that you can improve is by knowing what you need to fix. So please help us. Put a review out there. Tell us about your experience. No matter what, we want to hear about it.
Even if you've just come in for popcorn and coffee.
And we're okay with that.
Tell us what you like about the popcorn and coffee.
Absolutely.
You know, what we can do.
Absolutely.
Now, the only caveat I am going to put out there, okay? We want to know the good, bad, and ugly. All right? There's two of those that we really want to be able to make sure that we get the most information on.
Yes.
The bad and the ugly. Okay? If there is something that we can improve on, we'd love to talk to you about it as well. And I know Adam, our new general manager, he would love to talk to you about it, okay? His main goal, and this is something that him and I have talked a lot about, is helping our customers and getting back to the basics of taking care of our customers. And so if there's something we can do better, we want to know. We want to do it.
Yeah, we do. We do.
So don't be afraid. Let us know. Get out there. Leave us a review. Do what you can to help us out.
Absolutely. We would really, really appreciate it. And we're sorry again for the real world problems that we had this morning. So you get to hear us for that first segment. Next week will be better.
Yes, next week will be better.
Next week will be better. It'll be okay.
Maybe I'll be running on a little bit more sleep and.
What'd you stay up late doing, Jeremy?
Playing video games.
I understand. They came out with some new. For those of you who are gamers, you'll know what DLC means. It means downloadable content. It was a game expansion. I may have stayed up a little too late.
It happens.
It happens.
It happens.
I lose track of time.
So, I think that's going to wrap us up for today.
So.
Stop on out. Check out the Cherokees.
Yes.
Say hi to us, and don't forget, if you're watching this on Friday, when we release the video, tomorrow, Saturday, August 18th, from 9 to 5.
And there's the door song in my head again. Darn it!
From 9 to 5.
9 to 5.
And we'll be here.
We will.
We'll see you then.
Come find us.
Absolutely. Have a great day, everybody.
Bye.